If someone were to compile a list of the most beloved series featuring the best light-hearted characters, I believe Panchayat would be top of that list. The way the audience is stuck in the dynamics of the Fulera Gaon, it's hard to get out from there. Or dekhte hi dekhte, we are at the 4th season of this show. The kind of vibe every single character in this world brings with them, you can't really stop yourself from wanting to know about them more. In the previous season, the epic and satisfying ending was so peak, along with the music, I think everybody would have waited for this season. Where in this season, the makers were mainly focused on the political campaigns and the process of Fulera, where Manju Devi and Kranti Devi were fighting with each other over the seat of Pradhan forms the basic narrative of the show. So this is Point of View, and I'll be discussing the good, the bad and the verdict in this video so you can make an informed decision about whether this 8 episode almost 5 hours long series deserves your time or not.
सुनाई देगा तो गुस्सा चढ़ेगा, ये लोग कान में बैठो।
अरे देखो फुलेरा के फ्लावर और कांटे। ए सचिव, अरे मुरझा कहाँ रहे हो?
ए रोको रोको रोको, सब सुनाई दे रहा है।
Firstly, the thing that disappoints me a bit will be the question from the previous season. Who's the assassin or who ordered the shooting of Pradhanji? The question is still there after a full-fledged season. The makers were hovering around the question for a bit here, but suddenly they shifted their focus to the political aspect and they never came back to it. At least they should have given that away to the audience in the end. It was not as if they were aware of it. They simply forgot about that issue, which was serious and remained unresolved. Also, they had introduced Pradhanji's father-in-law here. While that character looks interesting initially, it's the same problem with that character also, which was a writing fluke, I think. And by that, they have introduced another new character where they had put the alibi, but again, that's only for a single episode. And that character seemed to be important but didn't materialize in the end. Look, this caused because of the hurried nature. If you see the previous season, which was released a year ago, and within a year, they have introduced another season. So probably it is the production house or the OTT's pressure to bring another season just because of the hype, and they didn't invest the time that actually required in the writing. Anything can be possible. So now the good, the vibe. The first scene of this season where Prahlad, Vikas and Abhishek were seeing his friend off, where Prahlad and Vikas were continuously waving their hands to say goodbye and safe journey, that scene has some sort of innocence and purity that will just pull you into their world again where they left off. The moments. Speaking of the vibes, I think this creates the moments for me. At least in this season. No matter if it's the rally for the election or the booze up scene with everyone along with Pradhanji's father-in-law or the sweet little flirting between Abhishek and Rinki, all have been executed in a very balanced way. My favorite will be the rally scene where Kranti Devi, Banrakas's wife, crossed a line merely to mock her opponent. That scene has showcased with some sheer of intensity that uncomfortable pause after her words and the breakdown of that pitch, which was so amazingly perfect. The political game. The most attractive thing for this season will be the political tactics that both the parties have played throughout the duration. The checkmate game was absolutely fun to watch between these two teams. And also the makers successfully showcase the nuances of the rural political agendas. For us, they are possibly very minor things, but those were the turning events for the characters there. This was, to be honest, the main attraction for this season. The music. After the great run of the music in the previous season, especially they have put more songs in this one, and they all were so exhilarating and refreshing to be in the screenplay that it enhanced the situations or the dialogues more. The comedy and the dialogues. The comedies were mostly on the situational basis and around the mannerisms of the characters, but the dialogues were also amplifying them. So simple and generic, but still it will make you chuckle throughout the show. The slogan of the rally, "Kukad mein lauki pakayenge, fulera ko mukti dilayenge," was so hilarious. And the dialogues were mostly very humorous to watch. The characters in this show, I believe, have embraced their roles so thoroughly that it feels like their actual mannerisms. Every single character is perfectly suited to their role, making it difficult for me to choose a standout performer. Pradhanji's iconic
ससुर
Abhishek's impulse, Prahlad's understanding point of view, Vikash's innocent gesture, Banrakas and his wife's annoying presence, or Binod's simplistic way to look at things, every single one was perfect and shines in their roles. Also, the characters have portrayed the sense of respect, loyalty, understanding and achievements in a very fresh way. That was a great take by the makers. It's again a very refreshing season from TVF where you will barely feel any lethargy while watching it. If you have noticed, the makers are continuously shifting the tone of the series from a very light-hearted day-to-day life to a bigger situation like an election. And I like their decision over it. I think on the same tone, it would have been a generic show rather than exciting the audience for more. I'm seeing people were complaining that the makers are stretching it unnecessarily, but my point is, if it's entertaining and relevant to the narrative, then what's the problem? If they want to continue it while maintaining the same quality, then I think we should enjoy the seasons rather than complaining of their existence. The next season is kind of in a very uncertainty, at least where they have ended this season. If they churn out anything, hopefully it will be a good watching experience, and that's it. So, what are your thoughts on this show? If you have watched it, please let me know in the comments. Prime Video has announced this banger on the same day as Panchayat release that I can't keep calm here. Very, very, very exciting to watch Srikanth and his missions again. Till then, thank you so much for watching. See you at the point of view.